At the age of 17, I suppose I was far too busy being happy. I was at school, I was captain of cricket. I always wanted to fly an aeroplane because my father was a member of a flying club, and it seemed to me that the cheapest way of learning to fly would be to join the Royal Air Force if they'd have me. So while I was still at school, I wrote to Air Ministry and said, look, I want to fly an aeroplane and I'm leaving school within a year, can you please give me a job? And so it went on from there, and I left school in, July 39, and had a fortnight's cricket and went straight into elementary flying training. Now, there I was in a Spitfire squadron. I'd never been allowed to look over a Spitfire, let alone fly it. And the CO said to me, he said, there's a Spitfire, laddie, go and fly it, and if you break it, there'll be bloody hell to pay. Thank you, sir. And it went on day after day. And the Germans wouldn't have done that had they not intended to invade our country. I interfered with the cricket, or by the hell. When he's winning, he's a tinker. He really is. And once he starts getting punched on the nose, he doesn't like it. We were left to ourselves. People daren't interfere us with tape, red tape. A squadron fighting the Battle of Britain, leave them alone. Just supply them with aeroplanes and pilots. The whole fighter squadron, not only the pilot, 92 was 92, it was a club. The loyalty of those chaps to their pilot was incredible. Because we tried to keep our own aeroplane, and that meant our own ground crew. They had a fitter and a rigger to each Spitfire. Their loyalty to their pilot was incredible, you know. And if during the sweeps in 41, if one was missing, you'd see the ground crew sort of keeping an eye open, and then they'd go and give a hand to somebody else. Sitting in a dispersal hut at dawn, waiting for the telephone to go. And the moment it does, the waiting is not easy. You're tensed up and come on, let's get on with it. As soon as you're scrambled, the phone goes, you're out of the door and running to your Spitfire. The moment you leave it and you're going to the Spitfire, you become acclimatized to it. The moment you feel the aeroplane beneath you and you take off, keeping formation, the hedge goes by underneath, wheels up, left, climb up, full maximum climbing power to intercept an incoming German, and you think, good God, what's going to happen? Here I am, what am I doing here? And then the controller comes up. You can imagine the old engine going, the ground receding, getting leader, vector so-and-so, so-and-so, 120, whatever it is, 150 plus over Dungeness, Angels 1-5. So you take, oh God, here we go again. Then you'd see them. The leader would call tally-ho, and that's where it all became a little, not vague, but you looked at this lot and you thought, where do I start? Your closing speed is 600 miles an hour. So initially you get a very quick burst, but you focus on one, fire, break away out of because your impression of a very heavy crossfire coming from the front gunners and every gunner in the German aeroplane, all firing at you. And you get up, you get away with it, break off, you'd end up, what, 2,000 or 3,000 feet below, take a deep breath, and then say, right, well, let's go back and see what we can find. You got back into it, and you chucked the aeroplane around, never stay still, and you felt, I mustn't stay still. I can see this chap coming round behind me. Turn into him, hammer it over, go below him, and then pull up behind him if you can. never stay still, chuck it around. And then I saw a Heinkel, slightly below it on his own, heading towards, bat out of hell, going for Dungeness. And I peeled off and I went and I got behind him. I looked behind, there were no 109s, the poor chap was on his own. And basically I did quarter attacks on him, got him behind him, got a very good burst in because puffs came and he actually crashed at Dungeness. It all happened so quickly. You flew for your life and you chucked it around, fired at everything you can, fleetingly. A 109 would go boom across the front of you and you'd have a quick squirt at him. Blast, I think I missed him. Tuck him behind him and somebody was coming behind you, brake the other way. Never stay still. And it became such a tangle that to identify a particular second is not possible. The whole thing was a gaggle of aeroplanes with tracers and smoke trails. And as I say, then I saw this Heinkel and I thought, well, I better have a go at him. Your mind goes a blank. The intelligence officer would come up and say, you know what, and it went a blank. He said, come on, he said, you told me you got one. Well, I tell you what, Jeff, I'll write your report and you sign it. And he did that. Really? Your mind goes back. I'd forgotten all about the Dornier after I'd had a go at the Heinkel. But I'm bloody certain I got two that day. Okay. But I forgot to, I didn't even claim it. I didn't even put it in my combat report. What did it matter? Yeah. A census was taken, and 8 out of 12 teachers did not know what the Battle of Britain was. Consequently, the children didn't. I mean, one thought it was a riot in Birmingham or something. It's unbelievable. There was a very sort of elderly lady who should have known better, obviously well-to-do, who said, oh, well, you know, the Second World War, you chap, you've got to forget all that nonsense now. And I said, I quite agree with you, madam. Can you tell me how?